Well, hey guys, today we're coming to you in a different format again. Last week we came to you from the minivan, but today we are driving the minivan. I'm sure that this is overly exciting for you. So today, I would like you to get on your Google Classroom and you are going to take your last quiz before we enter into the book of Revelation. So this quiz specifically is over James chapters 4 and 5. And in this, you're only going to have 3 questions on your quiz. On this quiz, it's going to ask you some things about what James has to say about worldliness and how we can guard against it. And in chapter 5, he's going to talk about trials and the remedy for the trials that we may go through. So I'm not going to give you a whole lot of rundown on this because James is a book that is extremely self-explanatory. All I want you to do is go back and look at chapters 4 and 5 because all of the answers are right there in how we should combat worldliness and how we can remedy some trials. An additional question that will be in there is in regards to worldly thinking, if James is warning us against it, he's obviously wanting to get our attention on it. So I want you to draw some parallels to maybe some worldly temptations or some worldly thinking that you have bought into in the past. I'm going to give you just a quick example of something that my wife and I encountered at the beginning of this shutdown. We were set to go to New York City, and I know that we talked about some of that in class and some things that we were looking forward to. Well, we didn't get to take that trip. So instead, we just went to South Missouri and northern Arkansas. And while we were there, we were staying at a little neat cottage type place that had a smart TV. Well, we don't have internet at our house, so we can't get Netflix on our TV like most people can. So we were overjoyed when we got to have Netflix on our smart TV at this little cottage. And we started this show, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the show because I don't want you to go and watch it. Well, the first 2 seasons of this show, we were so impressed with it because it was clean. There was no sexual content. The language that was used was very minimal. It was a really exciting show. It had politics. It had conspiracy. It had action. And we both just really enjoyed this TV show. In fact, we bragged about it to many of our friends and family, talking about how good it was. Well, there are only 3 seasons of the show. The first 2 seasons were just very good television. Well, we were really excited to get into the 3rd season, and when we did, it was very apparent from the first episode that something had changed with this TV show. We don't know if it got a new writer or a new producer. Most of the stars were the same, but one thing that really was distasteful to us was they started to ramp up the use of terrible language. In fact, they had never said the F word in this TV show, and in the first episode, there were multiple F-bombs dropped. There had never been a hint of sexual conduct or anything like that in the show previously. And in the midst of this show, I mean, there were grotesque sex scenes that we had to fast forward through. And I mean, it just was an alarming show. And we're not going to watch that show anymore if they come out with future seasons because we were so displeased with the direction that they took that show. And it just goes to show you that, man, worldliness can creep in so easily. Here, this show was good and it was, entertaining. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it's like the switch was flipped and everything changed. And for us, it can be the same way that we may not be worldly in our approach to things, but as we go through life, it can in an instant take us down. So anyways, thank you for listening, and every answer to your quiz will be right there in James chapters 4 and 5. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.